Hey, Mark here. I have a really fun giveaway, and it's for a movie called Devotion that was released in 2022 and stars Jonathan Major and Glenn Howell, who have been absolutely on fire. They were just crushing it in Top Gun Maverick, Ant-Man Quantumania, Creed 3, just bringing it. And I have a really fun movie that I very much so enjoyed, and it's a cool giveaway on Blu-ray. So if you want to enter, just shoot me a message and be like, hey, Mark, I would like to enter the raffle to win a copy of Devotion on Blu-ray. So just let me know. Now on Blu-ray, Jonathan Majors and Glenn Powell star in Devotion, the epic and inspirational story based on true events of two heroic U.S. fighter pilots whose sacrifices made them the Navy's most celebrated wingmen. Buy Devotion on Blu-ray now with action-packed bonus content. Rated PG-13 from Paramount Pictures. Seriously, y'all, this is a fun movie. You're going to want to watch it. Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a woman who brewed some delicious tea for this episode. It's Megan Hoffmeyer.
Ooh, I would love like a nice peppermint chocolate tea.
Ooh,
or a chai. That lovely chai that we got at the farmer's market.
Oh, I missed that.
So good.
Come back, farmer's market.
It's a little bit spicy, but it's delish.
You went full Colin Farrell from After Yang for this episode.
He did love his tea rituals.
He makes some crazy tea.
I mean, he really essentially had a PhD in tea, didn't he?
PhD in tea? Tea PhD?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost too much.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's like, listen, man, I appreciate it, but this is $40.
Yeah. Doesn't his wife get on him at one point? Like, you're making us go broke with all this tea.
I mean, I guess there's worse things.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how expensive artisanal tea gets, but...
We're not artisanal tea experts, are we?
No. Well, maybe, they live in a different world. Maybe they grow their own tea leaves.
It is a different world. A chill world. Super relaxed world.
Where families do dance nights
and
like, battle each other.
It's like her, but less pastel.
I should have put that as an award.
The dancing?
Yeah.
Wonderful dancing. Now... thank you for joining me, Meg. And what we're doing today is we're handing out random awards to movies that are nominated for Independent Spirit Awards. But the wonderful thing about the Independent Spirit Awards is that it's going to be airing on March 4th. They're going to announce the winners, but they announced their nominations in November. So when I was getting ready to put in my ballots for the Georgia Film Critics Association, I went and watched as many of these as I could find to make sure that my list was as complete as possible. And that's why I love the Independent Spirit Awards. I think they really do a good job of, this year they had movies from 25 countries. 51% of the nominees were women. Like, they do a really good job of spreading the love, finding cool movies. And we watched some really cool movies because we wanted to see all the nominees, like all the movies that were nominated.
Yeah, this has been a fun experience. And you're right. It's nice that they cover a lot of these movies that wouldn't stereotypically be, you can predict what's going to be in the Oscars for the most part. There's a lot of stuff here we watched and loved that got covered that you don't see elsewhere.
Yeah, and it's kind of a bummer, but it's also cool. Like, I hope more people follow this and we decide to do an episode to promote some cool movies that you might want to watch when they come out. Also, we want to say we did our best. We watched a lot of movies. The ones we could not watch are Return to Seoul, which was impossible, Palm Trees and Power Lines. I emailed the production company. I never heard back because I was trying to get a screener for this. And then we also didn't watch Our Father the Devil. We just couldn't find it. So we tried our best. I sent out a bunch of emails. We got some cool stuff, but we were able to watch as many as possible. I'm not patting myself on the back for getting screeners, but we made the best of them. And we actually watched them. So what we're going to do is we're going to hand out random awards. Then we're going to predict who should win each category, even though we love all the movies in each category. But let's just... Meg, what's your first award?
My first award is Best Car Jam Out in Honk for Jesus, which was a nice surprise of a movie. Yes, it was funny, and Regina Hall gives it just a really amazing performance. They ask a lot of her. She has to be sad and putting on this sort of, I'm trying to get myself out of a deep hole happiness. She's really trying for her marriage and her church, and she's just phenomenal. But this scene in particular is really fun. They're just very stiff. They're at the church all day. They're trying to plan their comeback. And then they have a fight in the car. And that's Sterling K. Brown with Regina Hall. And then they just start jamming out.
It's amazing.
And rapping.
So I had an award for them as well, which is best hat that is disliked by a husband. There's just a whole bit around a hat that Trinity wants to wear, but Lee Curtis hates it.
Oh, yeah.
And then she just lets him have it.
At the end, yeah. That for me was the best part. That she really starts to realize why she's in it all and stand up for herself.
I have a question. So Sterling K. Brown, we love him in most movies and TV shows. He's excellent. But this is Regina's movie.
For sure.
Yeah. She's so good.
She's so good.
She's
when
the best.
she's just betrayed because she has to be
the first lady.
A gospel mime.
Yeah. Just listen, y'all. If you want to see a fantastic performance, and Norbert Morvan of the Movies, Films, and Flicks podcast, I'm not going to say the exact words, but he said, "Why the F is she not getting buzz for this performance?" And it's one of those. It's a really funky rigged thing. Money is spent, momentum is gained, a lot of performances are left out. So, I mean, we're not going to complain about something that's really broken, but it is odd that she hasn't even been in the conversation. Mm-hmm. And there's no conversation about Regina, but she's amazing.
She's so good.
All right, so we got 2 for the price of 1 out on that one.
Okay.
All right, so my first award is Best Glasses Stolen by a Bird Moment award, and that goes All That Breathes when Salik gets his glasses stolen by a kite that just flies by and just grabs his glasses.
It happens so fast you don't actually notice it.
And then he laughs about it. Mm-hmm. He's like, "Look, it has my glasses." And then he points over at it has my glasses. And later they're working on a bird. He's like, "I can't believe that bird stole my glasses." But it's such a wonderfully human, cool documentary that takes us to New Delhi and brings us to a new world. And it's just, you like spending time with the 3 guys, the 2 brothers and Salik. They're just cool and they're chill and they swim horribly across rivers to rescue birds and then get out of shape. And it's just a really neat documentary. But
and you learn about the politics and life in Delhi. You learn about the evolution of these birds. It's very interesting.
And just hearing about how much garbage the kites eat and how the vultures did that before them. And the precision, though, of that bird to just not cut him, but to just steal his glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love that. I watch it. Watch All That Breathes. It's wonderful. All right, what's your next?
My next one is Best Arcade Hang in Aftersun.
Oh.
So our main character... Well, is she the main character? Yeah, it's told through... So
it's
the
her.
director, Charlotte Wells, said it is told through the daughter's eyes, but as an adult looking back on the situation. So our main actress, Frankie Corio, or Sophie, just goes to the arcade one day and there's a boy there. And he wants to play a game with her. And there's nothing malicious about it. There's nothing awkward that happens. He lends her a token. They're at this sort of all-inclusive resort. And they just have a great little arcade game and they become buds and he's her first kiss later. And it's just so nice.
Oh, so nice. Listen, of all the movies nominated, Aftersun's my favorite here. If Decision to Leave was nominated, it would be my favorite. But Aftersun is, if I had to pick one movie that was the best out of all these, I would take Aftersun. It's unbelievable. But you know what I love? After the kissing scene, Paul Mescal and Sophie, their dad, they have a conversation, but it's filmed on a kayak from a ways away and they're talking about the kissing. He's like, "You can talk to me." Like, and they just have a conversation, but it's filmed like we are listening in on a private conversation, the way it's framed. Absolutely beautiful. Ah,
I just love this movie. Yeah, I really do wish that it is not in the top movies or the best movie category here, but I wish it was.
It's not worth complaining about because that's just sour grapes and other movies are deserving to be nominated, but Aftersun's art in 10 years.
It is art. It's Portrait of a Lady on Fire art.
Oh, I wish there was a painting of Aftersun that the lady from Portrait of a Lady on Fire paints.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
I would just go see it in a museum and stare at it all day.
And cry. I would. That movie gets me. Oh my gosh. All right, so that's a beautiful one. I'm going to do Best Asking About Digging Up a Body. And that's from a love song. Which this movie makes me really happy because Dale Dickey and Wes Studi are so good in it. Like, it's just such a chill movie.
It had such a nice vibe.
But there's a scene where this woman's waiting for an old flame of hers to arrive. She's on a camping ground. And this group comes up and they're like, "Hey, can you move? Because we're trying, very friendly. Mm-hmm. Hey, we're trying to dig up a body here."
Yeah, it's played very funny.
Yeah, and the girl is just, I feel like she's just straight out of a Coen's brother movie. Right? Just very, very precocious. Mm-hmm. And just the way that she talks to Dale Dickey and the way that she's kind of like, hey, we got a body, want to dig it up. And Dale Dickey's like, well, I got somebody coming here that I'm waiting for. So if I move, they won't know where I'm at. So I would love to, but I'm not. And they're like, yeah, it's cool. Just let us know when you're leaving. And it's just, it's a very episodic moment. But that girl is just so good. And director Max Walker Silverman, I think he does a really good job of capturing this really neat moment. And also, it's cool watching Dale Dickey lead a movie. Also, Bleecker Street's the best, Meg. Mass. They've been crushing it lately.
Whoa. It's better than Kino?
Wait. Oh, well, no. They've been crushing. But Kino's, oh gosh. If I had to pick between them, I go Kino.
Okay.
But only,
that was a bold statement.
Well, I only pick between Kino because they release old movies on Blu-ray. So then you can get older stuff and newer stuff. And they have Martin Eden.
Yes.
And Baccarat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but then Bleecker Street has some cool stuff too. They have Montana Story. This is tough. You put me in a pickle.
You put yourself in a pickle.
But yeah, that's it. I just watch. It's on Paramount Plus. It's on Showtime. Dale Dickey's the best. And like, when do you ever watch a romance between Wes Studi and Dale Dickey? Like, it's a cool movie. Watch it. It'll change your life.
Okay, my next one is Best Kiddie Pool from Causeway.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, I was gonna go with. I made it more specific. I was going to go with best, late night hang in a pool. But then I realized that happens a lot in this movie because Jennifer Lawrence is a soldier that has come back after suffering a traumatic brain injury. Her name is Lindsay. And she takes work as a pool cleaner or someone who works for a pool company.
With Rick, who's really funny.
Yeah. That guy, the owner. And she spent a lot of time at pools. Not, working, but also go and hang out at them sometimes in the evening if the owner is not there. But I digress. The best one is the kiddie pool with her mom, Linda Edmond. They're just sitting there, relaxing after, a long hot day, New Orleans. I'm sure it's quite steamy. They're drinking, what are they drinking? Beers in the pool? And it's just a kiddie pool on a back walk. It's not anything fancy. And they have a nice little moment where they sort of level themselves. And then, mom goes back to her old ways. But yeah, it's a great moment.
And listen, like, Brian Tyree Henry got an Oscar nom for this movie, but I think Jennifer Lawrence is equally as good with her mannerisms and just her, like, it's a really wonderfully calibrated performance that never feels insulting, or it feels more like her Winter's Bone stuff.
Yeah, it feels very natural.
Yeah, like it's like she has a brain injury, but she doesn't play it like she has a brain. Does that make sense? It's very believable. I feel like she did a lot of research. Very respectable. The way that she can't hold things in certain moments. Like, it's never played for melodrama.
Yeah, and I think it's because the real heart of the movie is the relationships between people and how that affects you. And it's not her status as a soldier or her TBI. It's how they interact with the people in their lives. And that scene with her brother in the prison is just, man.
Yeah. That's crushing.
It is.
And her mom, Linda Emond Gloria, is so good. I like her. I hadn't seen her in many things before. But the director, Lila Neugebauer, I looked this up beforehand. My apologies. I researched how to say her name. Neugebauer. She was a stage director. So you could tell that she maybe pulled a lot of actors from stage.
Okay.
And the way a lot of the shots are framed, you just kind of put a camera there and let your actors destroy it.
Yeah, they fill the scenes for sure.
Well, I also have one from Causeway. I just did Best Drunk Acting.
Oh, yeah.
And that's by Brian Tyree Henry as James. Because...
again, a very relaxed portrayal. They don't seem like they're people up there acting, capital A, with some parentheses around it.
He's just falling asleep while telling a story with a cold beer against his forehead and a hot New Orleans night.
Everyone seems so natural in the film. And again, the scene with her brother is, oh my gosh, he sold drugs and he comes to the conclusion that he feels like he is safer for the world being in prison, and he's accepted that, and he just loves his sister, and he's so happy to see her, and it's just, wow. It makes you want to break down.
Oh, it's so good. And then her and Brian Tyree Henry get along great. Like, I love their
fantastic.
relationship. Just hanging out, drinking beers, drunk acting. They're wonderful. I think Causeway was a really great surprise for me. And it, like, once again, it made me really think of Winter's Bone. Mm-hmm. She wasn't as stubborn as one completely different character, but just as natural. I think it's why everyone loved Jennifer Lawrence, because at moments she can be very natural on screen. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Good call. I love that movie. All right, so this one, there's a swear word in it, but this is a PG-13 podcast, and I had to award Bokeem Woodbine something, so I wrote best usage of the word shitbird. Just the way that Bokeem Woodbine calls people shitbirds in The Inspection is wonderful. Like, that whole movie's good. I really enjoy The Inspection, and knowing that the director was like, this is loosely...
It's his story.
Yeah, it's his story. And just knowing that the director, Elegance Bratton, went through the Marines and went through the training, went through the boot camp, and just sort of had to probably deal with all of this. And Gabrielle Union's also nominated for an Independent Spirit Award for Best Supporting Actor in this year.
Oh, and, yeah, she's a terrible mom. You do not like her, but that's great acting.
Inez is a monster. She really is. Jeez Louise. But also Jeremy Pope, who's also nominated as Ellis. He's just so good as well. Mm-hmm. But I just think, you know me, I'm a big Bokeem Woodbine fan.
Right.
Fargo. When he was in Fargo, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you were flipping out.
But him as Leland Laws, just the way his cadence.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bokeem Woodbine has the best cadence of most actors. But the way he says shitbird makes me very happy. So go watch The Inspection, A24 movie. Very good. What you got, Meg?
All right. My next award is Best Dreams of Going on Safari from Catherine Called Birdie. So this movie, it's Lena Dunham directed, and it's a little period tale about a young girl whose father has spent all of his riches and she needs to go find a husband at the age of 14. And she's just, young and wild and free, played by Bella Ramsey, who's gotten really popular in The Last of Us recently, was an absolute monster in Game of Thrones. She plays Birdie. Billie Piper, Lady Iceland, is her mom. And it's just a nice, cute sort of little movie. But this scene is actually when her brother's wife, who is an older, or not her brother, her uncle's wife, who is an older woman who has decided to marry a real good-looking guy because she can at this point, because she's married other guys and gotten quite a lot of money from their passing. And she wants to marry this guy because she can and have a good time. And Birdie runs away to their home for a bit to try and figure things out. And her name is Alif. I'm not going to try it. You know what? It's Sophie Okonedo.
Oh, she's the best.
Yeah, she's awesome. Loved her in, what was that movie? Oh, Flack, that TV show.
The TV show.
So
with the packs.
She wakes Birdie up at the house one day and takes her outside, and they're looking at some birds that they keep. And she says, why don't we just run away to Africa and we can go on safari? And Birdie thinks this is wonderful and magical. And then this is when she finally realizes that if she leaves, she's going to miss her family and they'll miss her. And that inspires her to go back home.
Just Lena Dunham. Nice comeback.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think she went anywhere, but it was a nice comeback.
No, it's a nice movie.
And it also has our boy, Moriarty, just crushing it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Andrew Scott is always fantastic. He's such a brat through so much of this movie, and you just don't like him. And then there's this one scene when his wife is giving birth for the who knows how manyth time, and he just whips everyone into shape, and you go, oh, that's why Andrew Scott is in this movie, because he just owned it.
Well, if you're directing one of your first movies, big movies, just get good actors.
Right?
That'll help you out. Just go the best. No, I love that award. All right, so I guess my next one is the best photo session, and that's going to go to Vicky Krieps from Corsage, who we love in Bergman Island. She's also great in Old. She's also great in Phantom Thread. But Corsage is a movie, an IFC film that is just very good. It's a very good movie. Marie Kreutzer directed it, and just Vicky Krieps plays she plays Empress Elizabeth of Austria. She navigates the expectations of her culture and her own desires. But the cinematography is wonderful. Vicky Krieps is incredible. There's just some really interesting scenes where she's pretending to hang herself. Oh,
there's all kinds. She's got all kinds of ails and moods and melancholy, and the scenes with her husband are very interesting. She's just a great actress, and she's so interesting and compelling to watch on screen. What do they say in the trailer for this? It's because of corsages, to suppress the diaphragm is to suppress yourself or something like that. But that's kind of her whole mood in this movie.
It's just so good. And there's a photo session where the guy's like, I think I should photograph you. You'd be great. And it's just the way he's talking to her. Then she starts owning it. But she's just perfection. I think she's one of the more interesting actors on the planet right now, because I think she does really interesting movies.
Mm-hmm.
She's cool to go work with M. Night Shyamalan. Then she'll go work with Paul Thomas Anderson. And then she'll jump over to Maya Hansen Love. And then she'll jump over to Corsage. So She can chill on the beach with M. Night, go to a costume drama, and then just chill on a beach again with Tim Roth. She likes beaches.
Mm-hmm. I mean, why wouldn't you?
That's a good point. She has a Swedish beach, and she has I don't know where the other beach is. One of them's magic.
Yeah, I mean, is it real?
Well, yeah, so that's my award for Corsage. I just think she's great. I do. And I wanted to talk about this movie because it's not a stuffy costume drama. It's a cool movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Vicky's the best.
Vicky is the best.
We're on a first name basis with her. What's your next award?
My next award is Best Pet Alligator from Pearl.
Oh, gosh. It is a pet.
Is it? Well, she takes care of it. Yeah, that's why I put pet question mark, because I'm not really sure what the relationship is there.
I mean, it's kind of... She feeds it. And so it hangs out.
It's true. And it makes an appearance in X. And then in Pearl, where you get some of its origin, there's a part where you're very concerned about her dad and the alligator. But this is more of a vehicle to just talk about Mia Goth. And wow, what a performance. It was, you can, listen, she was going for a tone. I think she nails it. It's not a movie where you're expecting someone to be natural because she's a killer and a crazy girl, but it's so good.
Her monologue, her smile at the end.
Oh my gosh.
Students were talking about that. That movie hit my students hard, which makes me happy. Like, she just, yeah, I mean, A24, Ty West, I think they did a wonderful job with that movie. And it's an overhead shot of a crocodile.
I mean, if I could give it a standing applause in the living room, totally.
I mean, she goes for it. I think she's, once again, Mia Goth is one of the more, like, a very interesting actor.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she is down to mess around. Down to mess around?
Yeah, there you go.
She's writing now too, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I dig it. That's a wonderful award. So my next one is, oh goodness, I'll do Best Tank Top. And that goes to Justin Benson in Something in the Dirt, which is one of my favorite 2022 movies. It was made for under $100,000. That's what it's nominated for. Low budget movie, but just watching Benson and Moorhead, who, as you know, Meg, like, I love Spring, I love The Endless, they directed Moonlight. They're just really interesting, likable people who are able to make a really neat movie about making a documentary. But I think it has the best tank top work.
It's very chill. I like the guys.
Yeah, they're really good. Really, really good. Zanandi and I are going to be doing an episode about it. So I don't want to give away too much, but Benson rocks a tank top. So I got to give him credit for that.
You know what's funny? I'm going to go ahead and quote the beautiful classic TV show, The Mindy Project here. We keep talking about how, I was looking at my list, how these are some of our favorite movies, our favorite movie. And I feel like favorite is not a designation of one thing. It is a tier.
Yeah. Right?
Especially for 2022, because there were so many movies that I just loved.
You can have a favorite shirt. You can have 18 favorite shirts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a tier. It's not.
Oh.
Yeah.
We have a lot of favorites.
How do you like that?
But I mean, I couldn't pick one. Could you? What's your favorite performance from 2022? Yeah.
I don't know.
Right?
Favorite performance?
That's tough.
Maybe Andrea Riseborough from To Leslie. I really like that. But also the boy in Close.
Oh, yeah. He's really good.
Which we're not going to talk about here because it's not nominated for Independent Spirit Award. But it is up for an Oscar.
I'm going to say anybody from Decision to Leave.
Okay.
Paul Mescal or Regina Hall. But I didn't even name my favorite. I'll say Paul Mescal.
Yeah.
But that movie just connects with me. So that's why I'd give him number one. It's your turn. What's your award?
My next award is Best Girls' Night Gone Wrong.
Uh-oh.
From Bones and All. So in the beginning of the movie, this movie was not what I expected, and I really ended up enjoying it. It was one of those that really pulled me in. I thought it was going to be more depressing than it was, or maybe I just don't worry about scary stuff anymore. I don't know. You make me watch a lot of movies.
Mm-hmm.
But in the beginning of the movie, Taylor Russell is having a girls' night with some of the girls from her school, and she's admiring her friend's fingernail polish. And you think that maybe she's going to go in for a bit of seduction and suck on the girl's finger. But no. She starts to bite the finger off.
And pulls the skin off.
Yeah, it was gross.
It's really gross.
Very gross.
But she's wonderful in that movie. Also,
I actually found that more squirmy than some of the other stuff in the movie.
Yeah, they're just eating dead people.
Yeah, exactly.
Or slitting throats. But the skin comes off.
Yeah, it's separate. And there's like a bone and yeah.
I wrote Best Hair Rope created from
nasty
people who were murdered by Mark Rylance's Sully.
He's very disturbing in this movie.
Good old
I
Sully.
like it.
Hey, I'm Sully. He speaks in third person. And oh man, but that finger bite. Watch it. It's really good. Timothy Chalamet is excellent as always. Effortless. Taylor Russell, wonderful.
Stop being so good, Timothy.
Mark Rylance is just too good. David Gordon Green's in it, just as a human who's like a cannibal groupie.
Mm-hmm. Which makes him a psychopath.
So, yeah, it's interesting. You hang out with cannibals, but in this world, they're more like they are. That's what like a vampire.
They just exist. They're a type of person.
So if you're a human,
or it's like a type of disorder that you have,
and you have to eat.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a human who rolls with them, you're just a serial killer.
Exactly.
Or a familiar.
Well, it makes sense.
All right, so my next one is, oh gosh, I got rid of that. I'm going to do Best Doctor Strange Tattoo.
Oh.
And that goes to Bruiser, which it just hit Hulu, so it's a film that's really worth watching. Also, it has Trevante Rhodes from Moonlight. And in the movie, I don't want to give away too much, but he's a dude who has a tattoo that says precious bodily fluids. And the main character asks him about it. And he's like, yeah, it's a great quote from Dr. Strangelove. It's hilarious. I think he said it's funny as shit. Which it is. I think Dr. Strangelove is one of my favorite movies of all time. And so, seeing Trevante Rhodes in a movie called Bruiser with a precious bodily fluids tattoo from Dr. Strangelove gets an award every time. Anybody who has a Dr. Strangelove tattoo, I'll give them an award. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a very just interesting tale to watch them work through this anger that they all have and how it impacts other people. I
don't want to go too much into the plot, but I feel like in movies like this, you normally have this super aggressive guy, and then you have a weakling other guy, and then the weakling other guy has to find his strength, and then he has to stand up to the strong guy. But this one, it's just two badasses who are clashing, and that's something new. That's not something you see much in cinema. Also, you don't see many Dr. Strangelove tattoos.
True.
So I'm going Bruiser for my award. What's your next?
My next award is Best Roadside Redemption Cafe in To Leslie.
Oh gosh. What goulash.
I'm not saying that I'm responsible for helping get her into the Oscars, but I watched this on a plane and then I came home and told you about it and we watched it here and listen, it's all history after that.
You did it, man. You're the one. But no, this is how we heard about this movie. This is how I heard about it, was from the Independent Spirit Awards back in November. Before all the campaign for her to get in, then all the controversy. This was just a film that blopped up on their list. And I went, wait, what is this? To Leslie? Andrea Riseborough? She's incredible. So, yeah. And then Mark Maron.
Oh, Mark Maron.
And Allison Janney. They're all so good.
So listen, it's a real story. And you can have probably a little bit better arcs than people trying to come up with a story, but wow, it's powerful. Leslie goes through it. You know what's very interesting about, and we've discussed this, how a lot of the characters start in one sort of position in life where, they're a loser or they're upset or they're an alcoholic or something like that. And as the movie goes on, they shift. They actually grow in their lives, their real lives, because they were people. And it's very interesting to watch because not a lot of people do that in movies where a lot of the characters change and grow.
And then other people don't want other people to grow. And when they grow, they're still hurt. Like, it's a very three-dimensional look.
So three-dimensional. And
I don't want to get into it too much, but Riseborough's performance, like, I met people like Riseborough when I was younger. They were moms of some of my friends. And the physicality of her performance is something that just brought me back to those days of, navigating my friends' moms who were just like that. Wonderful performance.
Yeah, and it earns the ending for sure.
Oh, it's so good. All right, so I got my last award here. And I'm going to go for Best Tea from After Yang. We already talked about it, but I love Kogonada. I show his videos to my students, his video essays. I talk about Columbus a lot, that movie that I think uses architecture and production design beautifully with John Cho and Haley Lou Richardson, who's dancing in After Yang as well. But it's just, Colin Farrell was his year. Banshees, Batman, After Yang, and he did 13 Lives.
Yeah.
On fire. But everybody in After Yang is perfection. I'm a huge Kogonada fan because he started off just doing video essays and now he's a big director. He's going to be big. So it makes me happy. So that's my last award. What's your last award?
I have a couple here. Actually, Why don't you do Murina?
Okay, so I'll do best end credit swimming.
Yeah.
That's from Murina, where Gracia Filipovic is just swimming. But it's Kino Lorber.
For a very long time.
Joey Lewandowski, who's a friend of the podcast, I go on the Too Fast, Too Forever. I recommended this to him and he loved it. And he told me, he's like, I kept waiting for something to happen and it didn't, but I love it because of it. But it's just such a good movie. It's a cool Croatian flick that I really like.
Yeah, I actually had another one for this. It was best under house water caves.
Yeah.
When Julia is sort of in timeout. Mm-hmm. Or under locking. There's a big party going on, and she has had a massive row with her dad, and she's been locked up in this boathouse. But she finds a grate that goes to an underwater cave, and then she has to swim out. It's very interesting.
I mean, it's a good thing she's a free diver,
right?
Otherwise, you and I would have been
in
toast.
Trouble.
But it's just a slice of life Croatian film that I really like. All right, what's your final award?
My final award is most atmospheric, and that goes to Neptune Frost.
Yeah.
Because it really builds a world, and I think it should be applauded for that. I don't know of a lot of people who have watched this movie, and it's another Kino, right?
Another Kino.
And it's just so interesting.
Absolutely. Aaron Neuwirth, actually.
The costuming they've made up just for the movie, the world itself, it's just so interesting. It has its own language at times.
Oh, yeah. I think it did create its own language, its own computer language. Yeah, Aaron Neuwirth, a friend of the pod, recommended this, and I went and checked it out. They were cool enough to send this to me earlier in the year. And I love this movie. I'm so glad you picked it.
It's really interesting. I think people should watch it.
I mean, it's just... Yeah, I mean, the production design, the costuming, it's a really cool, low-budget, neat sci-fi film. Mm-hmm. And it's very atmospheric. I love it. Are we going to become hackers, you and I?
Totally.
All right, so Meg, let's pick the winners.
Okay.
So, we're going to do Best Feature. Bones and All, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Our Father the Devil, Tar, or Women Talking. Which one would you pick?
I don't know. I think there's just too much momentum to me to not pick Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, I think so. That's fair.
And I didn't like Tar all that much or Women Talking, so I wouldn't put Everything Everywhere up against Bones and All. It just...
Yeah, they're two different... if it came down to it, it would be Bones and All versus Everything, because we haven't watched Our Father the Devil, but why not award everyone for Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Right.
There's so much to it, and it works.
Right, exactly. Oh, I had an award on that one that we didn't... I would be happy just doing laundry with you in another universe.
It just rocks and Rakakuni.
That's like a heartbreaking scene.
What a movie. The fact that they were able to edit that all together blows my mind. I love it.
Edit it, Everything, Everywhere, all together?
Yeah. Oh, gosh. It's perfect. For editing Everything, Everywhere, all together?
Yeah.
Oh. All right, Best Director, Todd Field, Tar, Kogonada, After Yang, The Daniels for Everything Everywhere, Sarah Polley, Women Talking, or Helena Rain for Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
I mean, to be cynical about it, I would say probably Todd Field or The Daniels.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're both very good movies, and they're both very good on rewatch. But I'm going Kogonada, After Yang.
Okay.
He created a new world.
It was very interesting. I loved it.
That's the spirit of these awards, of the Independent Spirit Awards.
The Spirit Awards?
Give it to Kogonada. Do it. Or Helena Rain, because I love that movie. All right, so Best Lead Performance. Cate Blanchett, Tar, Dale Dickey, A Love Song, Mia Goth, Pearl, Regina Hall, Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul, Paul Mescal, Aftersun, Aubrey Plaza, Emily the Criminal, Jeremy Pope, The Inspection, Taylor Russell, Bones and All, Andrea Riseborough, To Leslie, Michelle Yeoh, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate how wide-ranging this list is and just how fantastic that is? It covers a lot of my favorite movies.
It's so good. Just look at it. It makes me so happy. And so I would say Mezcal Meg, but he's nominated for an Oscar.
Okay.
And so there's been a ton of support behind Mia Goth. Taylor Russell will win eventually. Michelle Yeoh's going to win the Oscar. Andrea Riseborough is nominated for an Oscar. Jeremy Pope's really good. Cate Blanchett's nominated. Dale Dickey, she's just wonderful in this movie, but it's all Regina Hall. I think of all these people, she does so much. And there's no hiding. No,
she's carrying the movie.
Yeah. And the layers she's able to find. So I'm going Regina Hall for Honk.
I think definitely Regina or Paul or Michelle.
Or everyone else.
No, just those three.
Pick one.
Can there be like bronze, silver, and gold?
Oh, that's funny. Who's
I don't
giving
know.
gold?
I think Regina, but there's still a very good chance that Michelle would get it.
All right, real quick. Jamie Lee Curtis, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Brian Tyree Henry, Causeway. Nina Haas, Tar. Brian Darcy James, The Cathedral. Ki Hui Kwan, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Trevante Rhodes, Bruiser. Theo Rossi, Emily the Criminal.
Ooh.
Mark Rylance, Bones and All. Jonathan Tucker, Palm Trees and Power Lines. And Gabrielle Union, The Inspection. Who you taking?
Gosh. Well, I think my leads here are probably the ones that are nominated for Oscars. So, I don't know. I think Brian Tyree Henry.
He's so good.
Right.
He's nominated for an Oscar, though, so I'm going to give it to Nina Haas for Tar.
Of course. You mean Phoenix is Nina Haas.
Phoenix is Nina Haas for Tar, because she's awesome. And Theo Rossi was really good in Emily the Criminal. I love him in that movie. We'll do a couple more. Best Breakthrough Performance, Frankie Corio for Aftersun, Garcia Filipovich, Murina, Stephanie Shu, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Leela McInerney, Palm Trees and Power Lines, or Daniel Zogardi, Funny Pages. Who are you taking?
Frankie.
Yeah.
From Aftersun.
Go Frankie. I mean, Stephanie Shu's awesome, but she's nominated for an Oscar. So I'm going to give Frankie that. Now, let's do one more thing. Let's do Best First Feature. Aftersun by Charlotte Wells, Emily the Criminal by John.
It's Aftersun.
Yeah, that's it.
You don't need to read the rest.
The rest are Emily the Criminal, Inspection, Marina, and Palm Trees and Power Lines.
I mean, Marina's really good.
It's so good. And The Inspection's good. And Emily the Criminal's good. But it's Aftersun's art.
Yeah.
Last one. Because I just want to give something in a dirt award. It's the John Cassavetes Award, given to the best feature made for under $1 million. And so that's something in the dirt. The Cathedral's good, too. The Cathedral's on Mubi. Love Songs, Bleecker Street. And then there's African Desperate. That's on Mubi as well. But I'm going something in the dirt because I love Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead.
What about Best Cinematography?
Okay, we'll do that. Aftersun.
Aftersun.
But look at listen, these are...
I know. It's a stacked list, but it should be Aftersun.
Aftersun, Murina, Neptune Frost, Pearl, and Tar. That's...
Yeah, but the only one there that's real art that's super memorable is Aftersun.
Yeah, I mean, Murina and Neptune Frost are wonderful.
Murina is a much smaller picture, I think.
And you're shooting on a beautiful location anyway, so it's...
Which is crazy because there's not that many more characters in Aftersun, but it is truly art.
So yeah, we'll give it to Aftersun.
Neptune Frost is also art. It is just, I think it's more niche.
I think all these movies are art.
And I think that director will have more to do and that cinematographer in the future, given that they've done Neptune Frost.
And then let's just do Best Editing so we can give Everything Everywhere All at Once
Okay.
an award for Paul Rogers. Also Aftersun, The Cathedral.
Well, what about Marcel the Shell with Shoes On?
That movie's wonderful, but I mean, Everything Everywhere at Once.
Okay.
Fitting that together. Nuts. All right, well, this was fun, Meg. Watch the Independent Spirit Awards. Check out the winners. Check out the list. Go watch these movies. Pick one for people to watch.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so difficult. I was going to say something that wasn't one of these movies just to promote my fave, but probably Aftersun.
Yeah, watch Aftersun.
Or Murina.
Or Murina. Or Causeway.
No, I think people are going to talk about Causeway because Brian is nominated for an Oscar, so watch Aftersun or Murina. And because there's huge stars in Causeway. Jennifer Lawrence is in it, so
that's a great point.
Regardless, people are going to talk about it, but who's in Aftersun? I mean, Paul is in it, but that's not someone that people, readily talk about all the time.
I'm going to say Aftersun, Murina, Inspection, Neptune Frost, and Something in the Dirt, because I love those guys.
Nice.
All right. Well, this was great, Meg. Thanks for joining me.
And watch Honk for Jesus. It's funny.
Oh, Regina Hall. Also watch All That Breathes. Also watch All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Meg. All the Beauty and the Bloodshed.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Oh, it's in Corsage and Joyland and St. Omer.
And Triangle of Sadness.
That's a big budget.
I know.
What a movie. People say that's the worst Best Picture nominee.
People need to get over themselves.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, Meg.
The movie is my hero.
All right. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Megan Hoffmeyer, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.